Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Welcome. It's Tuesday, September 10th, 9 o'clock. We're going to start the meeting. Natalie, do the welcome.
Welcome to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors meeting. As a courtesy to others, please turn off cell phones or other electronic devices which may disrupt the meeting. If attending via Zoom, please have your microphones muted at times when you are not speaking. All items on the agenda other than correspondence and board and staff member reports are considered items for which the board may take action. The public will be given opportunity to comment on action items on the agenda when the item is heard, and comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group.
Thank you. I think today I'm going to lead the pledge. Please stand and salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Natalie.
Supervisor Vasquez?
Here.
Supervisor Blazer?
Here.
Supervisor Fior?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford?
Here.
And Supervisor Messick.
Here. What did I say? Oh, Izzy, you're not Natalie. Okay, before we get going, there is a request. We're going to add an item to the closed session, and I'm going to turn that over to County Council.
I would like to request an item be added to the agenda pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.2 Subdivision B2. I'm requesting the board approve a motion to add the following item to your agenda as item 5492024. Conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. Agency designated representatives Kevin Mallon, County Administrator, and Tiffany Manuel, Human Resources Director or Designee, Employee Organization DSA. As your counsel, I'm advising you that this request requires two findings be made by your board. First, that this matter arose after the agenda was posted, and that this matter requires immediate action by the board due to the time sensitivity of negotiations, and that this requires a 2/3 vote. Also, upon an affirmative vote, the matter would be added to the agenda as item 549. I ask for a motion finding this matter arose after the agenda was posted and that it requires immediate action by the board due to the time sensitivity of negotiations, and for granting approval to add the matter to today's agenda as item 5492024.
So move. And we have a motion and a second. And we're going to need a roll call vote, I think.
Supervisor Vasquez?
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer?
Yes.
Supervisor Fior?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford?
Yes.
Supervisor Messick?
Yes. Okay, we're going to go into consent. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be action items that are routine and can be enacted in one motion.
So moved.
We have a motion and
I'll second.
Second. Any input from the public? No. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Anybody opposed? No. Thank you. Public communications. Izzy, can you read that?
Any person may speak about any subject of concern provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and it is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for reviewing such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. And through the chair, we have one speaker, Tony Farley.
Good morning, Tony.
Gotta save a spot always for Tony.
Tony Farley, Southview City, Walton, Hyde Park area. Here, thank every server, thank Administrator, Notice Chief Saxon, thank you for the service. Jan Bender, former Sacramento County employee, now Yuba County employee. I like that. Don Blazer, District 2, Chairman. He also is a farmer and everything. John Miss, District 3, right? And he's another farmer, right? 5?
He wants to be.
Yeah. Gary Badford, the Cap to Cap event. I want to try that someday. Go to that Cap to Cap event, pay for it at the Sacramento Chamber of Commerce. And also Seth Fuller, a diversity officer, diversity candidate, like him. And Vasquez, the total bad bone guy. Also, Under Sheriff, thank you for service. Probation Chief, I saw him on YouTube video with the anti-government auditor, fair transparency. He's an idiot. Also, thank you to Heather, the Animal Officer, Heather. Thank you, Rachel, the community development lady. Thank her. Nick Rachel, PIO, Kay Gibson. I saw that press conference with Sacramento County Sheriff Department with Kay Gibson. So thank you, Jennifer. And also thank you to the probation. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Tony. That is all we have?
Yes, no hands through Zoom.
Okay. County departments. All matter listed under county departments are action items, which will be considered and voted on separately. Our first one is 507, County Administrator.
Yes, is this mic on, Izzy? Yeah, okay. Yep. Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Kevin Mallon, County Administrator. So the item before you today is an item that we've discussed in the past, not specifically this resolution, but through the county strategic plan, the need to make sure we're doing the best job we can at serving those with behavioral health needs. And we've had a long-standing relationship with Sutter County. It's been a joint effort. It actually goes back all the way to 1972, I believe. We have a joint powers arrangement with Sutter County, and Sutter County is essentially taken the lead for the last 50 years through Sutter Yuba Behavioral Health to provide behavioral health needs for both Sutter and Yuba counties. There's been a lot that's evolved in the state over the last 50 years, and especially in the last few years as far as behavioral health needs, and then also behavioral health mandates through the state. There's been several different pieces of legislation that are going to expand behavioral health services, required services. So the resolution before the board today is really a step forward for both Sutter and Yuba counties to work jointly at evaluating what's been in place and what should be in place in the future. And so what's recommended is the board adopt the resolution that's attached to the staff report, and then also for the chair to establish an ad hoc committee for the duration of this assessment period. And we'd need 2 board members for that ad hoc committee. And the same item in a very similar resolution is being presented to the Sutter County Board of Supervisors at their board meeting on September 24th. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions the board has.
Do we have any questions? Any public comments? No. All right, so I think we have agreement on an ad hoc committee. Should we do that now?
Well, maybe the board, if you can.
You want us to approve your
resolution first to make sure that that's.
Do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nobody's opposed? No. Okay. Would you like your ad hoc committee?
Yes. Yes, please.
We have agreement, Supervisor Vasquez and Supervisor Fuhrer are going to be on your ad hoc committee. And do we need a vote on that? No.
I would recommend doing a motion and a vote to establish the committee and the members.
Okay. So moved and a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nobody opposed? No. Are we good?
Yes. Thank you, board.
Okay, the second one is 519, Sheriff Coroner's Office on animal care services.
Good morning. I'm Heather Knoll. I'm the manager for animal care services for the Sheriff's Department. And we have been left as beneficiaries from a couple that have passed away. And I am requesting that I be made able to sign the documents that are needed to accept these funds and then to accept the gift that has been left to us. I believe that Ms. Walls from the Sheriff's Department has submitted a budget adjustment. Once the properties are all sold, then it could be, for what I'm being told, up to $175,000 gift. With this gift, I would like to enhance our area out at animal control where we can exercise the animals, do behavior assessments and such. That's kind of what I wanted to do. This couple was very much dog lovers, and so I'd like to use the gift that they have left us to go towards the dogs. I have any questions?
Do we have any board comments or questions?
Just a quick comment. That's very nice of that couple, and I'm glad to hear. It sounds like it's going to be put to great use for it'll have ongoing benefit.
Exactly.
So that's great.
Were they at all specific that they wanted the funds spent on, like certain cages or outdoor things or whatever?
Nothing that I had read in the when their lawyer contacted. It was just that there was a list of us. I think there was 6 different entities that were left the gift, and it was just I chose to. I want to utilize that gift towards the enrichment of the dogs out there.
Yeah, they weren't specific about the dogs, but the general tone is that they were dog lovers.
Yeah, so when I did some research, they were like one of the top donors to like Guide Dogs for the Blind, and they were between us, and they were constantly mailing in just monthly donations and to both shelters, Yuba and us.
Well, we're very fortunate to have that happen. So,
Through the chair.
Any more comments from the board?
Through the chair. It's quite a vote of confidence. Apparently, they like the way you do things, you manage things, and it's a vote of confidence for the sheriff's administration of that. That's highly unusual.
Yeah, thank you.
So I
Should
was
be proud.
I was going to make a similar comment that maybe Rachel could do a press release about it, because normally you guys are shedding more of a negative light than somebody's obviously was very happy with it.
Yeah, I kind of had the idea too to like donate or dedicate the area out there to them. So that I thought that maybe we could do that as a press release too. I thought that would be good.
Yeah. Great.
Any other board comment? Any public comment?
So moved.
No. So we have a motion.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. So the motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Number 518,
Tom, you missed public
Community
comment.
Development and Services. Sam.
Good morning to the board chair, fellow supervisors, Sam Button, Public Works. So in short, this is an award recommendation for Lehman Construction as the parent low responsive and responsible bidder. So Public Works received 3 bids ranging from approximately 1.2 million to 1.45 million. And the project first came to life when Public Works was awarded $739,000 from SACOG in a 2021 regional funding round. And at the time, those were federal dollars. And due to those being federal dollars, we did a funding swap that was both approved by SACOG and the Water Agency to make this project locally funded, helped expedite the project, reduce some environmental requirements, those types of things. And then the project, it's ultimately a safety project and will it'll increase sight distance as well as adds turn lanes to get vehicles out of the through lanes when slowing and trying to enter Beale Air Force Base and leaving Beale Air Force Base as well. The project also ties in nicely to a recently constructed merge lane that Beale Air Force Base completed and a shoulder widening project that the county plans to complete next year on Hamilton-Smartsville Road. Any questions from the board?
This is all the, what I guess, is that the Doolittle Gate?
Yes.
Okay, that's on the north side.
Yes, on the north side of Beale Air Force Base.
Okay. And just for me and the public, can you list the other gates that have access to the Beale, or do you know?
Yeah, so North Beale as well. Sometimes that gate is open. You also have the Wheatland Gate, and oh gosh,
Grass Valley Gate.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate the help, Gary. But yeah, this one is specifically for Doolittle.
Okay, and what we used to call the main gate is, we should assume, is pretty much permanently closed on North Beale Road.
That's not the case. That's not the case. As long as Doolittle Gate has been closed, North Beale's been open.
Oh, okay.
Great questions. The engineering team has been coordinating with Beale. I believe the gate will, for the most part, be closed during construction as well, but we'll be working with them to notify the public and the airmen about that.
Okay. Any other board?
When you say swap dollars, how does that work? What did the federal dollars, what project did it go to instead?
So we got lucky in that North Beale Road, the Complete Streets project. We were calling it Phase 2 at the time. That was from Hamilton-Smartsville to Linda. That one already had federal dollars on it, and it also had water agency funds. And there was actually 3 projects involved, but for the most part, since that one already had federal funding requirements, we swapped the local funds on that project with this project to keep that one federal and then to make this one locally funded.
So I guess my question is that when they award the funds, there's no string saying the money has to be spent on this project, just gets given to us, and as long as the project is completed, it doesn't matter where the funding came from.
Yeah, we did have to do what we called like a defederalization agreement with SACOG to put that money on North Beale and then agree to meet some guidelines, like getting it done by a certain date, providing them annual reports, those types of things. So we did an agreement with them.
Through the chair, just a comment. I know this has been a very important project to the leadership out at Beale, so it's great to see it continuing to move forward. I know they've had safety concerns about their airmen at that intersection for a while.
So there's no stop sign or anything. It's just turn lanes and widening and.
Yeah, so ultimately, there's a hill out there that you're coming over. So we're lowering that hill to increase sight distance. There's been some bad rear end collisions out there. And then as well, we're adding some turn lanes to get people out of those through lanes so that if you are turning or leaving Beale Air Force Base, you have somewhere to be. But yeah, ultimately a safety project.
Yeah, long overdue. Thank you. Any other board comments? Any comments from the public?
So moved.
We have a motion.
A second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Okay.
Thank you.
Passes. Thank you. Okay, next up is 539 Community Development Services. Yes to startups.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Chairman Blazer, members of the board. Rachel Downs. I'm your Business Engagement Manager out of Community Development. I have the opportunity to come before your board and recommend a second round of our Yes to Startups program. If you may recall, this is a program that we began last year, inspired by namely the California Dream Fund, which was enacted by the state in partnership with the Small Business Development Center to offer small businesses, kind of a good foundation to start off on a good, strong footing. Things like understanding your business concept, your business plan, your cash flow projections, your competitiveness in the market, your marketing strategies, things like that. Just kind of a good, solid foundation of how to start a business. And so we took inspiration from that, created through approval from your board last year, a program that was really received with great success. We had built the budget last year for the anticipation of about 50 plus or minus applicants. We had budgeted for about 30 participants, anticipating that we would have a little bit of attrition through the program and having 20 plus or minus folks actually go into the two-part pitch competition where they can compete for grant funding. We did have a robust response to the applications last year, but through vetting people that just were not at the right place in their business, maybe they'd been in business longer than the requirements were set. We have it from either a startup to only in business for up to 3 years. And so some people had been in business longer than that, and or they were applying, but not actually in our area, not reading the fine print. And so we did have to kind of cut down that applicant pool, as well as we had more attrition in the program last year than we actually expected, ultimately leaving not as many people getting to the pitches. And so we've tried to fine tune, we're trying to, let's call it right size the program. And so you'll see that a little bit in the budget here. That's one thing I wanted to call out. We do have about $14,500 that will roll over from the money that we had in our MOU with the Small Business Development Center last year, and that'll roll into this year. So the actual contribution cost is going to be a little bit lower this year because we have that money rolling over as we're right sizing the program. That being said, we do have some kind of new elements in place, like creating not only the hybrid of the program delivery being done online, which was really well received by people, but we're implementing more in-person opportunities. That was some of the feedback that we got from our participants last year, is they need a little bit more hand-holding. They need a little bit more guidance in person. And they also really want to create this cohort. We have I'm going to call them veterans from our program last year that want to come back and really create that community, create that tribe around small businesses. So that's some of the other right sizing that we're going to do this year, is just create more opportunities for these people to gather, come together, share concepts, and collaborate. And we've seen a lot of success from that already. Businesses that are going all the way up to the foothills to support MELUs as they're anticipating their opening, and they're kind of working through their project up there in Brownsville. We see the people that went through the program with them going up to make sure that they're supporting them at the farmers market. You've seen on social media a lot of the collaboration between Too Tall Sweet Treats and Dave's Chips, so on and so forth. And so we just want to continue to foster that environment, and this program can really do that. And so the ask is for the approval from your board to allow us to execute a second round of this competition, and the MOU with the Small Business Development Center in California Capital to fund the program as well as administer the grants. So I'm happy to take any questions.
Is this pretty much a unique program, or are there others similar around the state, or?
Yes and no. Like I said, the original impetus for the program, the framework of it was utilized from the California Dream Fund, which the state put together in response to the COVID-19 pandemic and supporting small businesses. And then that was the original framework. But yes, there are other programs even in just the Sacramento region. Elk Grove specifically has two similar-ish programs. One is more geared toward tech and innovative startups. And then the other one is geared toward their local businesses. And I believe El Dorado Hills is also starting a similar program. So there are other examples in the region, but everyone is going to have their own unique flavor to them as well.
Well, obviously there's a lot of people that have these great ideas in their head.
Yes.
They don't know where to go.
Absolutely.
So these could end up either brick or mortar or home-based, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
They can be either, yes.
Through the chair, how much is the state involved in this situation?
Can you repeat the question?
How much of the state of California is involved?
Not directly. Like I said, the only connection to the state necessarily is that the state of California had the California Dream Fund created in response to COVID. That's kind of the only direct nexus to the state. Our partnership is with California Capital and the Small Business Development Center, which is ultimately a federal program through the SBA.
that California is $100 billion upside down. My first question to anybody giving me advice is, are you successful at what you're doing? No,
Understood.
then shut up. Okay, it's just, that's my.
Any other board comment?
Yeah, through the chair, I think this is a great way to support our new small businesses. And I know myself and several other board members were at least one of the pitches last time, and it was absolutely amazing to see those small business owners share their passion for what they're doing. And so I think it's an amazing program, and I'm super excited we're doing it again.
Thank you. And if I can just, through the chair, if I can make one more comment too, I would be remiss if I didn't thank our Health and Human Services Department. I should have said that at the beginning. So thank you all for your great partnership, because part of the funding for this comes through an MOU between Community Development and Health and Human Services through the CalWorks program. And so that's the bulk of the funding that we've been utilizing last year and this year for this program is through the CalWorks program.
I also enjoyed watching the program presentations last year. I thought you guys did a great job. I'm curious, has there been a star that has just head and shoulders had their business explode out from the cohort?
I think we've seen success from a number of the different businesses. Anybody that's kind of exploded, I think that it's all can be kind of subjective of how you define massive success. But when we're thinking in the scope of small businesses, I know just talking with Two Tall Sweet Treats, or Ashley and Jacob Cummings, they did win first place last year. Namely, they had a pretty challenging summer after that program because of the weather. You would think ice cream is directly correlated to heat, and you would imagine that their business would have exploded this summer. But actually, it really inhibited a lot of people from wanting to get out. But because of the program, they were able to they had more tools in their toolbox to kind of assess their business and make sure that they were still strong in their profit margins, that they were still only buying the right amount of quantities. They had more knowledge and a skill set to be a better business owner and not let that slower summer than they anticipated really bring them down. And so that might not be the explosive kind of success that you're thinking of.
Resilience matters.
But resilience, exactly. That's absolutely the right terminology. And they're able to have the funding to be able to set up a website so that people can book them for events, because they've also learned through that program that their profit margins were a lot higher in events rather than running routes. And so that's something that they're more able to do better in their business, just to name one example.
Thank you.
Well, the first success is just surviving the first year, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
So through the chair, I had some comments as well. I've been to Emmylou's in Brownsville and seen what they're doing with the money that you guys that awarded them or whatever. They're making great strides and going to be close to opening. The place looks really nice. Dave's Chips. Do you do updates periodically, or that's what you're talking about, going back and checking on these people? We had Dave's Chips provide the chips for our fundraising dinner for the Yuba-Sutter Sheriff's Hero Squadron. I still get comments from people all over like, those are the best chips I've ever had in my life. So when I talked to Dave that night, he was trying to get some permit from the state. So if we can help these guys along, get any other permits and things. So I don't know, has anybody talked to him? Has he gotten his state permits? Is he in business now? Because I'd like to buy some chips from him.
Yes, I do know that he has an online portal for purchasing for chips. I know that's been a very popular question that Gary and I have fielded. And then, yes, we do. One of the other things that we want to do, not just from last year's cohort, but moving forward, is have that quarterly check-in with folks that are graduating. And so it's not just year by year, but as we have hopefully multiple rounds of alumni in the future, creating this kind of quarterly get-together, whether it's a lunch or a happy hour or whatever it is that suits their schedule. We can, as the county, just be a facilitator for those small businesses, and ultimately it's up to them to collaborate and come together and develop these great business partnerships. But that is something that we're facilitating, is kind of a quarterly meeting, so that, yes, we can kind of capture that data and that progress report, but also be great listeners and figure out what they need help with and what's next. You know, are they struggling with a different permit, or do they need another business connection, or whatever it is, whatever their challenge of the day is, then we're trying to take those head on and make sure that we're connecting with them at minimum once a quarter, preferably more often than that.
What do you think the timeline is on this round? What time of the year do you do this?
Yeah, great question. So we anticipate with board approval, once this program is, you know, kind of fully approved and ready to roll, then we'll be executing the kind of plan of attack with the Small Business Development Center throughout the rest of the fall. Likely we would abide by the same timeline that we had last year, which is starting the promotion for the program within the next month or two, actually accepting applications in November, December timeframe, vetting those applications, and then actually welcoming people into the program and kicking off all the educational weeks ahead, the educational boot camp, if you will, likely in January.
Good. Any other board comment? Any comments from the public? Do we have a motion?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Motion passes. Rachel, good job.
I'm opposed.
Oh, we have an opposition.
Yes, I'm a firm believer that less government be involved in any small business starting up. You know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel for them. So I don't think you should be there. It's like wellness in school. It's like they're telling you you can be multiple things in school. The government needs to get out of education too.
Thank you, Andy. So we have one opposition, and so I believe we have passed. Thank you, Rachel. Carry on.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Maybe they can get time for that board.
Item 532, administrative services, and that would be Kevin? No? Yes, no? Oh, Perminder.
Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
Good morning, Board. Perminder Baines with Admin Services. I'm here to recommend that the board adopt the attached resolution declaring the 4 parcels as surplus land and authorizing the Director of Admin Services or designee to issue a notice of availability for the surplus land. The 4 parcels that we're referring to are located off of Northville, Avondale, and Hamilton Smartsville Road. In order for us to sell the property, we need to go through the Surplus Land Act. And that starts off with the notice of availability. We need to submit that to HCD, Housing and Community Development, and our local agencies. There's a website with HCD. It's a portal that we upload the notice of availability, and it gets distributed to everybody that's on the list. I think there's over 500 people on the list. Once we submit the notice, it starts a 60-day window. That 60-day window, interested parties can submit a letter of intent. So once the letter or 60 days closes, I'll be coming back to the board and discussing terms and negotiating with the interested party. And with the terms, we can still negotiate the price and any other terms that we would like. If we come to an agreement, we submit it to HCD, and HCD has the final say. And if we don't receive anything within the 60-day period, then we still have to collect the documents and our process that we went through and submit that to HCD. If they have questions, they'll reach out to us. If they don't, they'll send us a letter of approval, and we can move through our own process of selling the property. I'm here to answer any questions.
So the parcels are all contiguous.
Correct.
And they can bid and ask to buy any one of the 4 individually. Is that right?
Correct. And then we can also put them together if we'd like. It depends on what we advertise it as in the notice of intent or availability.
Okay, but they're all on the Avondale.
Correct.
Right.
Northville, Avondale, and Hamilton.
Right. Any other questions from the board? No. Anybody from the public? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We got a public comment.
Public comment.
Oh. I didn't see you over there.
Good morning, Board. Tom McWhorter from Oliver's. Through the chair, these properties are located off of Averdale. I'm not sure exactly where that is, other than off of Northfield Road. But I can come to your office and get a complete description today, right now,
Yes.
of these properties?
Yes.
Okay. How large are the properties roughly, just combined?
Approximately 18 acres.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, I think we did have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Hi.
Anybody opposed? No. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I believe we're up to ordinances and public hearing. Can you read that for me, Izzy?
If you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group.
And we have Rachel.
Through the chair, just real quick, I could be wrong, but Izzy, do you have who seconded that previous? I'm not sure I heard one, and I want to make sure we don't have a situation where we didn't have a second.
Oh,
I didn't hear a second.
on the previous?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought I heard a second. Izzy, did you?
There was.
Okay, as long as you have who it was, then I'm good.
Who it was? Who was it?
I know Andy, Supervisor Vasquez made the first motion, and the second, I believe, was it you, Supervisor Bradford?
I thought it was.
Okay, great. Then I guess I forgot I
Thanks, Gary.
seconded.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I'll second now, so you can put me in the notes. That's fine. I have no problem seconding it. I just wanted to make sure someone did, so we didn't, have to wait 2 weeks to take action again because there was no second. So
We appreciate your alertness. Rachel?
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. I'm Rachel Abbott, your County Public Information Officer. I'm here this morning to ask you to hold a public hearing, waive second reading, and adopt ordinance repealing and reenacting Chapter 2.160 of Title II of Yuba County Ordinance Code, updating our Yuba County logo. So I don't have anything new to add since the presentation from the last board meeting, but I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
So we're going to open the public hearing and ask for any questions from the board. And any questions from the public? And then I guess we will close the public hearing. And we
Close public hearing, waive the second reading, and adopt the ordinance repealing and reenacting Chapter 2.160 of Title II, updating the Yuba County logo.
I'll second.
And that will require a roll call vote, I believe.
Supervisor Vasquez?
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer?
Yes.
Supervisor Fior?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford?
Yes.
Supervisor Messick?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, item 506, County Administrator.
You got your Ouija board up there?
Ouija board. So this is a public hearing, and at the end, we're going to require a 4/5 vote. So Kevin?
Yes. Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Kevin Mallon, County Administrator. Let me make sure I'm doing this correctly. Ezzy, did I get it right here? All right. Minimize this. I know these things always seem to be in the way, right?
Yep.
Oh, and we're covering up our new logo here with whatever this thing is. Let's put it here. I want to make sure that's right there. So I guess I assumed the sale when I put together this PowerPoint presentation, or I shouldn't say I put together, my team put together the PowerPoint presentation. It is definitely a team effort putting together the county's budget each year. But this will be moving forward the new look for PowerPoint presentations before the board with our new logo and font and colors, etc. Okay,
just make sure that contrast is
that's our goal, to make it as easy as possible to read.
It's old, folks.
Yes. All right. So we're not here to talk about logos. That was the previous item. What we're here to talk about is the final budget for fiscal year 24-25. And so this will be a public hearing, and this is the kind of the why is my let's see here. All right.
You paused your, looks like you paused your screen sharing too.
How did I pause the screen sharing? Okay, resume share. And let's see here. Did I touch the wrong thing? Aha, there we go. But I'm not on presentation mode. There you go. There we go. You good to go? There we go. Technical difficulties. So this is kind of the final step for this fiscal year's budget. As review, the board adopted the proposed budget on June 11th, so that we the county had an interim spending plan in place beginning July 1st for the fiscal year. And then the next step in the process, the board conducted budget workshops with all of the county departments on August 13th and 14th. Again, thank you, board, for spending the day with all of the county departments. I think all the county departments, and we have pretty much all of them out in the audience here, enjoyed their time with you to talk about what they'd accomplished in the previous fiscal year and what they'd like to accomplish over this fiscal year. And so the item before you today is really to capture all of those changes from the discussions at the budget workshop, as well as adjustments based on changes in costs or revenues from June 11th to present. So is kind of a snapshot here. Oh, looks like I didn't move this thing far enough. There we go. The overall budget adjustments to the general fund, when you look at proposed to final, are actually fairly minor. We're requesting it's less than 0.5% change in general fund appropriation, about $257,000. And what we and I'm going to go through these in detail, but where we're at as an organization is as we closed out the previous fiscal year, we're in good fiscal health, and so we're recommending that the board take some of those funds and put them away for future use, and plus up our reserves, contingencies, and capital funds for future projects. There's also, between proposed budget and final budget, a reduction of 33 vacant allocated positions. That's roughly about 3% when you look at it overall with our workforce. But all of these changes are in two departments. So we had some minor adjustments in community development. There was a deletion of 4 vacant positions, an addition of 1 position. Actually, that 1 position was the one that the board recommended to work with our business engagement manager to make sure we're doing all we can in our Yes to Yuba movement. And then in the HHS department, there was a deletion of 31 positions that were vacant, and an addition of a position in our veteran services office. And so the net overall in our workforce is a deletion of 33 vacant positions. And we'll discuss this a little bit more, but this was the retaining some unallocated general funds to help us with our cash flow. This was something that we introduced last fiscal year, and it definitely helped the county better cash flow so that we didn't end up in a negative cash position in any of our months through the year. I think the last fiscal year we were close on 1 month, but we want to, we've kind of done a calculation, and the amount of just over $5 million would put us in a position where we should be able to stay positive throughout the fiscal year. And so this definitely helps, when the general fund goes negative in a month, then you end up with, a negative interest apportionment. You're basically kind of borrowing internally. And so there's a cost to that. With the general funds available, we feel like this would be a good use to keep us in a positive position. All right. Again, what did I do wrong here, Ezzy? There we go. My little up and down arrows. Those are usually my go-to on the screen, but they were not working. So those pluses on the previous slide in the different areas that this would just put in perspective. So what we're recommending between proposed budget and final budget is plussing up, for example, reserves by 1.2 million, contingencies by $1 million, our economic uncertainty fund by, I got to do quick math here, but 1.6 million. And then, as I was just discussing, having an unappropriated amount of general fund that would stay there to help cash flow ourselves through the year. So all of these numbers put our reserves, contingencies, economic uncertainty above policy level that was set by the board. So we're in a good position as far as fiscal health there, fiscal stability. My office has been in discussion with the Auditor Controller's Office about revisiting our policies on reserves and contingencies, economic uncertainty, and looking at best practices with other counties throughout the state. And we'll be bringing back to the board later this year if there's any recommended adjustments to our policies in these areas. All right, so well, it looks like we need to admit somebody there. Okay, so salary adjustments. This was a significant change, although it doesn't look significant from a net change in budget, but this was a significant milestone for us as an organization. We have now successfully negotiated labor agreements with basically all represented employees outside of those in the Deputy Sheriff's Association, which are ongoing, as well as our unrepresented. So it's basically the goal is so our entire workforce, we have certainty, not only as an organization, as far as from a fiscal stability standpoint, kind of knowing what our costs are going to be over the next 3 years, but also the labor agreements. One of the significant components of the labor agreements was we did a market analysis for basically all positions within the county to make sure that we're paying appropriately for our positions and competitive in the market to help us with attraction and retention of our workforce. So what you'll see here between proposed budget and final budget, the total salary and benefits for our organization, it's a little over $131 million. The change is very slight. It's less than 0.5%. And that's kind of the net change. So behind the scenes, you have, for example, like those 33 positions that were deleted. You have some savings there. You had, and then of course increases with COLAs, et cetera, between proposed and final. And so, but the net ended up being less than 0.5% between proposed and final. But as you can see, salary and benefits, our overall operating budget, it's over 1/3 of the costs are associated with our workforce. All right, so kind of a snapshot of our overall picture here. So our total for our operating budgets, which includes the airport, and I'm calling that out because when we get to the vote, the airport is actually voted on separately, but when you include the airport, which is about $1 million fund, the total is about $338 million for operating funds. And then our internal services funds, which is like our network internal service fund that covers the computer network that supports our workforce, health insurance, utilities, et cetera. There was a list attached to the staff report. Those total $46 million, bringing our grand total to $384 million is what we're recommending in the final budget. So happy to answer any questions the board has on anything specific in the final budget, but when we get to the board considering a vote on the final budget, we need separate motions on each letter. So we would start with the total operating funds of $337 million, which is excluding the airport, because the airport needs to be voted on separately, which is item B on here, the $1 million, and then and so on. And then these same letters are outlined in the staff report that was.
So are you ready to open the public hearing?
Yes, so ready to open the public hearing and answer any questions the board may have.
Okay. I just had a minor one. I just wanted to.
You've opened the public hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's open the public hearing. On the vacant positions, now, those have been vacant for a while.
Yes and no. For example, in CDSA, there was some positions that were added within CDSA, and there was some internal promotions, and then those people vacated their previously held positions are now being deleted, kind of a delete behind. So, for example, the county newsletter that I think that the board saw, we had some deputy director positions that were added at proposed budget in CDSA, and then the internal candidates that moved into those positions. What we're recommending is deleting the positions that they vacated.
Okay, so we can take board questions and comments, and then we'll check with the public. Any board questions?
No, but a positive statement. Maybe you could give lessons to the state. It's just amazing that you can have a reserve like that and still not cut us to the quick.
We're definitely doing our best as an organization to balance our expenses with our revenues. We are at an advantage that the county's revenues seem to be much more stable than the state's. The state relying on state income tax, it really creates these wild swings. And as a state, they haven't been able to kind of balance expenses with that wild swing in revenue.
I think the wild swings are caused by the governor's excessive spending.
I believe you're getting a compliment.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
We'll take it. The organization, right? It's a team effort. Yes.
Okay, so we have opened the public hearing. Any other board comments? No. And the public, any comments from the public? I see a hand out there somewhere. Must be Tom.
Morning, board. Tom Porter from Olivehurst. Through the chair, you mentioned that one of the positions that was eliminated comes out of the Veterans Service Office. Was that an actual Veteran Service Officer position or a supporting staff member?
Yes, and maybe I need to make sure I'm clear on that. So in Health and Human Services, there were quite a few deletions. There were no deletions within the Veteran Services Office. There was one addition in the Veteran Services Office.
And this is just a mint and parody. Have you been informed of what the swag will be? So I remember I was at the workshop and it was mentioned that supervisors are not going to have swag. So I just wondered. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.
You'll be the first to know if we have swag.
I think we are done with comment, so we can close the public hearing. And you need four motions or two?
So there's going to be a separate motion on each letter, and it's A, B, C, D on this slide, and then all the way through I. So, and each one is a roll call vote. So we'll be here for a little bit, unfortunately.
All right. So who would we're ready to take a motion on item?
I'll move to approve total operating funds in mass of $337,251,997.
Second.
Thank you. And we have a second. And now we will need a roll call vote.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fior,
No.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Gary?
I will move to approve airport enterprise funds in the amount of $1,041,406.
Second.
We have a motion, a second roll call vote.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fior,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
and Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And item C,
I will move to approve our contribution to the pension unfunded liability of $4,082,736.
Second.
okay, roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fior,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item D,
I'll move to put 1.2 million in general reserves.
Second.
roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fior,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'll move to put 1 million in general contingency.
So, and a second.
Andy seconded.
Oh, okay, roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fior,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
and Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'll move to set aside 1.6 million for economic uncertainties.
Second.
Roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fior,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Go get him, Gary.
Gee,
Gary.
I'll move to set aside 1.9 million to fund capital projects.
Second.
Roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fior,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'll move to set aside 250,000 to fund PC replacements, hopefully mine included.
Second.
Roll call. Who was the second?
Andy.
Andy.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fior,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And I'll move to put $46,004,706 for internal service funds, or to approve, or basically approve that line item as listed.
Second.
We have a motion second. Roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fior,
No.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'll move to adopt the resolution for the budget for fiscal year 24-25.
Second.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fior,
No.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. What do you have? What's our next step, Kevin?
Did I stop sharing there? Okay. Well, that is it. Now we have our marching orders, right? So now we have an approved final budget that we'll be carrying out through the remainder of the fiscal year. We'll be checking in with the board in January to see how we're doing with our strategic priorities and kind of setting direction for fiscal year 25-26. That'll be kind of the rhythm of things. And then we'll also, through fiscal year 24-25, as I mentioned, our office and the auditor's office will be looking at our budget policies and for best practices, and then bringing any updates back to the board.
So Kevin, you've been around for a while. Things look pretty like they're really stabilizing, and the future looks pretty good from my view.
Yes, so I've been with the county over 26 years now, and we're in better fiscal health than we've ever been, at least in my 26-year tenure.
Yes.
Which is, knock on wood. Hopefully, we don't need to use those economic uncertainty funds here in the near future, and that our future looks bright. So,
Thank you.
Chair. Board.
Well, I believe we're up to board and staff member reports. And then after that, we will be going to closed session. So Andy, do you want to start?
Sure. I attended the Area 4 and Aging Budget Committee, and because of excessive spending by federal and state governments, we get to hold back 63 Meals on Wheels in our county, and I think that's not a good thing. So that's good news for today.
Okay.
All right.
Seth?
Regional Emergency Shelter Team has a fundraising dinner at the 530 Center this Saturday. And then a couple weeks from that is Hogs and Hulas. And I know you guys all desperately want tickets, and I have them for sale. And I have a minimum I have to sell, so please buy my tickets.
And Carrie.
I've got a few items. First of all, next week is the RCRC annual meeting. It's over in Rohnert Park. It's being hosted in a wine producing county this year, and the chair of the RCRC board is also from a wine producing county, Monterey. And so they're trying something new this year. They're having a county wine competition. So every county that produces any wine is invited to submit a case for this competition, and then it'll be judged and voted on by those in attendance. And so I just want to thank Fringetown Farms up in the Yuba foothills for generously donating a case of wine for that event. Greatly appreciated. And we've also, as I think most of the supervisors know, they do an annual fundraiser at this event where every county submits a basket, and those baskets are auctioned off. And then the proceeds from those go to charities in the chair of the county, the chair the county that the chair is from that particular year. So this year the charities will be in Monterey County. So, and Yuba County has an amazing looking basket. So thank you to the staff in the clerk of the board's office for putting that together. And just a few of the major donors, there's certainly more than this, but Frenchtown Farms donated a couple bottles of wine, Bishop's donated some items, Hard Rock donated some items, and Emerald Cove donated a patio boat rental, or a pontoon boat rental. So we've got a great looking basket, and hopefully it'll fetch a lot of money for charity. And so that's exciting. Also, the following week, 2 weeks from today, I'm fortunately going to have to miss our next Board of Supervisors meeting, but it's for a very exciting reason. Have an opportunity to go to Langley Air Force Base and advocate for a mission coming to Beale Air Force Base. So really looking forward to that.
Do they have any idea what kind of mission?
I do. I'm not sure how public that is yet, so I'll refrain from sharing. I think it's public, but just in case it's not. And then due to a similar reason, I have a conflict related to that effort at 1:30 p.m. today, so we'll be unable to make the Costa County hearing. So.
Oh, you will not be here?
I will not be here.
Okay.
So, yep. So that's it for me.
John?
Well, I'm going to RCRC as well. Not a big wine drinker, but I'll take one for the county team, and I'll sample all those wines while I'm there. Went to the Bridging Hope Suicide Awareness Walk with Don presented there. It was great. You did a great job. And then later that day went to Brewfest. So that's about it.
County Council?
We will be tabling at McGeorge School of Law next Tuesday night with the DA's office and the Public Defender's office to hopefully attract some interns to come and work for the county.
Good. Kevin?
I seem to have the wrong touch. It's funny. I was fumbling around up there and I couldn't get my green light on here. So as Supervisor Vasquez had mentioned, the Meals on Wheels program, very successful program. It's a program that unfortunately, and this gets back to the ebbs and flows with the state. Am I correct? Is it state funding, Supervisor Vasquez? There's a reduction coming, which would cut.
They ran out of COVID money.
Right. And so it would reduce over 60 seniors receiving
yes.
the meals. And so I'll be working with Supervisor Vasquez, and we may be bringing back to the board if there's some way we can help with stabilization of that program. And myself and Jennifer Vasquez will be
thank you
looking through that effort. So,
Izzy, do we have anything from the clerk's office?
Nothing through the chair. Thank you.
I got a couple items. We went to a ribbon cutting for a new barber shop on 4th across from the Thai restaurant in Marysville. The family has been around for quite a while. Mainly, they did a lot of antique type things, so it's really reflected in the barber shop. It's really cool. There's who else was there? Seth, you were there, I think. Anyway, they have the old barber chairs and a lot of decorations, and so it was a really nice turnout. Another thing, Thursday, September 12th, is the Recovery Happens event, and that is going to be in Bryant Field. Food, music, activities, and a lot of resources from Yuba-Sutter Behavioral Health Advisory Boards helping put that on. And then I have another item here that's going to provide me a segue, I think is the right word. Fiona Ma, who is the treasurer for the state of California, we attended a lunch with her. She does a lot of out in the field type contacts with the public. Very sharp. I mean, she's pretty impressive, and she gets out and she talks to people. So there was probably 20 people at this luncheon. Her assistant, I think his name is Seth. It was interesting. At one point, he worked for Cotton Rosser, and Cotton, I think, was in need of a rodeo clown. So he said, "Seth, you're up." He says, "I've never done that." He says, "You'll learn quick." So, and then he told, when Fiona hired him, he told her, he said, you're hiring a clown here, So anyway, the segue is we're going from that to Cotton Rosser's bronze monument dedication and celebration. That's on the 11th, which is tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I think most of you know where it is. It's at the corner of 10th and E, where the big flagpole is. So this is a big bronze monument. This has been in the works for a couple of years, probably. So the actual revealing and dedication will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. I expect a large turnout for Cotton Rosser, Cowboy Hall of Fame. I don't think I have anything else. So we are going to take a 10-minute social break, and then we will go to closed session. Then after that, we will go into recess until 1:30.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada Counties.